Welcome to my normal life, ? Thought I'd give you a 10-minute tour of my pond here across from my house. Essentially, I'm just going to inform you and show you some pics here of what it's like living in Fort Worth, Texas. I think it's March 23. It might be March 23 today, 2024. And just a few days ago, in fact yesterday, it was a very pleasant 72 degrees. No, it was 2 days ago. 72 degrees with a slight breeze. It was actually a little bit warm. Went up to about 74, I think. Today it's cooler, in the high 50s. And the weather is very different from whence I grew up, where I grew up. Texas weather fluctuates a lot because it's flat. I'm all the way from Canada, all the way down to here where we're at in North Texas. It's flat. So storms don't have any mountains to traverse, any valleys to pass through. It just says, hey, it's like a locomotive that just barrels through from Canada to northern Texas and where I live in Fort Worth, Texas. So I enjoy my life in Fort Worth. I give it a good solid 5 or 6 out of 10. The positive things about living in Fort Worth are it's very affordable. Very, very affordable. You can buy a house right now, brand new home, a 3-2 in a working class neighborhood for $300,000, $350,000. Get a nicer home for $500,000. Get a really nice home for $2 million. And there are certain neighborhoods that I've learned very quickly are super nice. The neighborhoods by TCU are the super nice neighborhoods. Where I live, it's pretty much working class, and if you just go a few blocks, it becomes definitely working class. Again, my neighborhood I would call working class, middle class. My neighbors are all teachers. People who own small businesses, etc. So why do people move here again? The main reason is because it's very affordable. People are sick and tired of cold weather up north. They want to start a family, buy a big house. And of course, jobs. A lot of companies relocate to Texas because the state of Texas gives them certain incentives. Example, Tesla used to be headquartered in Silicon Valley, in that area, in the Bay Area, Northern California, San Francisco Bay Area. So Elon Trump started his company there because he knew in Silicon Valley, after he took it over from the people that are the original owners, he just understand Tesla was not started by Elon Musk. He joined the company and then eventually took it over after a few years. So he could find talented workers, techies. He can, get them from the various companies in the region, Intel, Apple, Google, etc. So all these companies, he can say, hey, would you like to work for my company? I'll give you some stock options, etc. So Silicon Valley is known as a tremendous incubator for business. A lot of companies started at Stanford University in their incubator projects, UC Berkeley, and you can get a lot of great engineers out of San Jose State University, etc., etc. So, it's a great place to start a company. You'll find talented people, pleasant work environment. People love living in the San Francisco Bay Area, etc., etc. But it's a rather expensive place to live and do business eventually once you become a mature company. So that's when Elon said, hey, I'm moving to Texas. The government of Texas and various government infrastructure said, hey, come on down, we'll give you a bunch of freebies. And Elon moved down there, etc., etc. So, start in California, move to Texas. That's a story for a lot of folks. You know, it's very affordable here. Again, I can't overemphasize the fact that you can buy a big house to raise a big family, or a small family, in Texas. So it's not all wine and roses. In Texas, there's a lot of things that are not perfect. Number one, for a person like me from the Silicon Valley, I moved here because my wife was offered a job as an administrator and as a professor at a local university. And she said, I'll take it. And we'll sit down there for 10, 15 years, and then we'll just move back to the Bay Area, which is the plan in a couple of years. It's supposed to be a year, but my wife added another year because she said, hey, let's make some more money. That's how she rolls right now. She's right now inside the house, working on her finances, calculating, oh, this is how much money we got. Isn't that fantastic? So, let me turn around the camera for a little bit so you can see where I'm walking. So, she's really good at that. She's really good at finances. She's really probably the most organized person I've ever met in my life. She used to manage businesses. She was an administrator at a university in San Francisco. That's where we pretty much met, in San Francisco. So we had great times in the San Francisco Bay Area. So what are some of the negative things that I don't like? Oh, by the way, this is a little stream that goes eventually to a larger river that eventually goes to the bay. Okay. Oh, by the way, homes in my neighborhood average around 400,000. Some 350, some more. 450, 500,000 bucks. As of today, some of my neighbors are selling their homes for 500,000. So, what are some of the negative things that I feel? Don't make Texas a fantastic place. First up, conservative politics. I'm an old lefty Chicano from San Francisco Bay Area. I am definitely not your typical Texan conservative. Takes the family to church, gun rights, etc., etc. I'm more of a, again, traditional lefty. That home right there is being fought over in court by a brother and a brother-in-law or something like that. The woman that lived there passed away. So it's been pretty much vacant for about 6 months. A lot of older people live in my neighborhood. My house is right there. That little orange brickish house rather. So what are some of the negative things? Again, conservative politics. I don't like the weather. I don't. It fluctuates tremendously. You can't depend on the weather in Texas. It can be cold, freezing weather one day, and the next day it's, warm, decent. And then throughout the summer, it's going to be super caliente. June, July, August, it's going to be, I guarantee you, 100 plus degrees practically every day. Once in a great while, maybe 1 or 2 days out of the month, people are going to say, hey, it's 99 degrees. My God, bring out the sweaters. Bring out the parka. I'm going to sit on this little bench over here and end this video. So that took me about 10 minutes to walk around this little pond of ours. It's a half-mile walk. It's a good walk. I usually walk 3-4 times around the lake. Pond. Let me turn around the camera. Off in the distance you can hear ambulances, people working on the yards, etc. So again, the politics, the weather are the two main things I don't like about Fort Worth, DFW area. I lived in Austin, Texas. That's a nice little area. But even by California standards, that's a rather conservative town. But up here in Fort Worth, it's even more conservative. Some lady right there walking with her phone blasting. People don't understand the technology called headphones. Shocking. So those are the two main reasons I don't like Texas. The politics are a little too conservative for me. And not a lot too conservative for me. And finally, the weather sucks. Big time. In Silicon Valley, I knew that in the winter it was going to be a little cold. Not freezing. Maybe 1 or 2 days where we had snow. Maybe every other year. But mostly it was just rained. It was in the 40s and 50s, and it rained. In the summer, it would be in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. But you can get away from the heat, if you call 80, 90 degrees heat, by just going over the mountains. And within a half an hour, you're in Santa Cruz, Monterey, or San Francisco. If you just go down Highway 101 or 280 to San Francisco, and it cools off dramatically. San Francisco in the summer is cool, okay, which is weird. I can explain what's taking place weather-wise, but I'll just say it gets cool in the summer in San Francisco, and it's definitely cool and typically overcast in Santa Cruz, Monterey, SoCal, Carmel, all those beautiful towns. And of course, my sister lives on a ranch in the hills, and if you go up in elevation, it cools off also. So that's what I got used to. Winter, it was wet, rarely snowed, rarely got super cold. In the summer, it was hot, but not super hot. And if it got too hot, you can always go to the beach or the mountains nearby. The nearest mountains from where I'm at is Big Bend, and that takes about 6 hours to get to the Big Bend. It takes about 5 hours to get to the coast, so it's pretty far away. But in San Jose, San Francisco was 45 minutes. Stanford was 30 minutes. Carmel was an hour and a half away. Santa Cruz was about 40 minutes away. It was all nice. It's nice. You get spoiled by that. And it's a frame of reference. If you never dated a pretty girl, you think ugly girls are pretty, okay? Or vice versa. Good-looking guys all you girls out there, if you've never dated a good-looking guy, you think all ugly guys are good-looking, okay? So the San Francisco Bay Area is a beautiful place. DFW is just okay. It's okay. There's a reason why property here is less expensive. The number one term used in real estate, the number one term and number one rule in real estate is location, location, location. The better the location, the more they charge you. For a little tiny house in a beautiful location is expensive. A big house in a crappy location is less expensive. That's the harsh reality. So there's some traffic across the street. People like to make noise around here. They like to shoot their guns, rev their engines. Get tired of that very quickly. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and ring the bell for future notifications. And if you have the time, check out my Patreon page, patreon.com/JMMGarza. And I greatly appreciate you checking out my channel. This was a short walk on an overcast, coolish day in the low to mid 50s in the Candle Ridge neighborhood of Fort Worth, Texas. If you have the time, also check out my photo page, my RVTA specific photo page, or my professional photography photo page. I have various ones for RVing Travel, and I have another one just for my commercial photographs. I'll leave that information below. I greatly appreciate you checking out my channel. This has been Jesus Manuel Mena Garza for my normal life, apparently. ? Gracias. Adios. With my house in the background. Bye-bye.